1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Talk about this level, hopefully. Fingers crossed. You know white balance, Davey? Yeah.
Oh, you're ground there. Right, well, if he gets back to you, make sure you video it. I would just make sure she's okay with doing that in public.
Oh, I hope so. I gotta go and video it.
I'll go, girl.
Where's she from?
Don't tell no more.
You're not looking around.
You being serious though?
Huh?
You being serious?
Yeah. She's there. This is a scratch.
I'm not joking at my own.
And you're shouting. So you're pretty.
I hope Gary Barlow gets back to you. Underwings your fuck.
If you do programming, you spend on these numbers.
they? All right, so it's probably some AI generated rubbish there. I did look at it, but I didn't read it that closely. I couldn't sort of.
All bonus to close.
Oh, so it is. You can even see it. It's not even close.
Unbelievable.
There's about 50.
I was just looking for just for clarification.
No.
I'm not even that good at spelling. I was trying to look at
You've seen it straight away.
and that was the list we got.
I don't think that's
Lauren
really
Shore,
cool, like,
Banner
making
Way,
it
Carrisford.
Again,
probably not, like,
Take back the down and you do what you said. You said it. I think it was farmers.
they have to do their bit. That's what I'm trying to get that place.
Even the first one, there was the second one, and it's just two. When a traffic that showed up, the first one, there was down and over.
And then that's the
not that stuff.
airport road. Yeah.
Do you love it?
And then up at the top of the road, up around that
No,
way.
I haven't watched it. I'm more than a couple of years ago. What's that?
I don't know
Did you watch, Maps? Flying for Adventure?
Payback almost.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I was looking at my old
Yes, yeah. You could hear this somewhere through the
Maps,
that.
like, that's
Or,
like, it's good.
like,
That's the UK one.
and it works out that way. I don't know either. I don't know what to do. I'm just like, I just wanted to know the even if there's something happening, I'm going to half seven. Even if it's tomorrow, it's 6 o'clock.
They're behind schedule today. I'm gonna be there.
You all right, Laura? Somebody took control of it, Stu. It's gone up and down. I will do. I can't see. What's it
sitting at the minute.
So we done in a wee minute, they're on the right, sorry for keeping everybody.
Alright, well, if it comes to the crunch, I'll just have to send it again when I get back into the car park. But the rest of yours are all working fine. Everybody else is fine.
Where's that man?
So, alright, alright, sure.
Yes, yes.
They're on their way down. Hasn't been done yet. No signals. I'll keep you in the loop as best I can. Okay.
to ask a question just before we start here. Okay, TV, HTV, BBC,
GB News.
RTE,
No FM.
sorry,
GB News.
GB, Reuters,
No FM.
BT, Cool FM. I'm going to move this. I'm going to need to move. Roger, head, John. Okay.
You ready?
Hold on just 2 seconds, I want some water. So just at the minute, with UTV, BBC, RTE, GB News, Reuters, BBC, or BT, and Cool FM. Okay, we're going to try and get us to all these questions. We're going to see how quickly we can get it. Right, okay, we're going to see how quickly we can get it.
You're not seeing this?
Separate there. Okay, so. Alright, okay. Okay, right, SEC Henderson. Apologies, gonna come in and do some media. Thank you.
Coming to Police Headquarters this afternoon. Today I'm providing an update on the police investigation on the attempted murder in North Belfast. This morning, many people will have awoken to the very distressing news of this brutal attack. And my first thoughts and that of my colleagues are with the victim and his family. Detectives and specialist officers are supporting them at this very difficult time. The man, who is aged in his 40s, was seriously injured in this knife attack. And it's important to acknowledge at the very outset the bravery of those members of the public who ran towards danger to intervene and help the injured man. Our position is to provide as much verified information to the public as possible as our investigation continues. This is what we know so far. The incident happened in the Kennard Avenue area on Monday the 8th of June at around 10:30 p.m. Officers arrived at the scene within minutes of the report to detain and arrest the suspect and to administer first aid. Colleagues from Northern Ireland Ambulance Service attended a short time later. The victim was taken to hospital with significant injuries to his eyes and serious slash wound injuries to his back and face. The suspect, a man in his 30s, who we now understand to be Sudanese, was arrested at the scene on suspicion of attempted murder. He is in custody, and at this time we are not seeking anyone else in connection with the investigation. And what is believed to be a kitchen knife was recovered at the scene. I share the public's revulsion over the brutal nature of this attack, which has created concern not only here in Northern Ireland but much further afield. And I understand also that there will be questions regarding the nature of the attack. Throughout today, we've been liaising with senior counter-terrorism partners. At this stage, we have no information to suggest that this was a terrorist-related incident. However, I must stress, we are still at the early stages of our investigation. This brutal attack has sent shockwaves through our communities, and I want to reassure all of our communities your safety is our priority. And we're currently engaging with local representatives and residents to provide reassurance and support. That is why today the public can expect to see an increased police presence across Northern Ireland this evening and in the coming days to help support, reassure and keep all of our communities safe. We understand that there's considerable posting on social media and people have real questions and real concerns, but we'd ask the public to be very mindful of what they share online. By sharing footage, this could risk causing further trauma to the injured man's loved ones and may impact upon the ongoing investigation. So I would urge caution and ask that people do not share the videos and images that they may have seen circulating. We're also aware of calls this evening for protest activity across Northern Ireland and continue to monitor that situation accordingly. I understand that last night's attempted murder will leave people feeling a range of emotions from fear to anger. Our officers have a role to facilitate and accommodate peaceful protest. Everyone in Northern Ireland will, however, sadly remember the disorder which took place over the last 2 years. No one needs to see a repeat of this. This only causes damage to local communities, and unfortunately young people often get caught up in that disorder. So I appeal for calm and the safety of all of our communities in response to this. All of our focus must be on the criminal justice investigation. We have one individual arrested going through that process, and anything else should not distract us from that important work. Finally, but really importantly, I recognise at a difficult time like this, the public will be looking to us and to me for answers, information and reassurance. I and my teams are committed that as best we can during this fast time investigation to provide clear, factual and accurate information to all our communities across Northern Ireland. And we'll continue to provide updates across the course of today and tomorrow. I'm very happy to take some questions at this point.
There's been a lot of speculation online, and in terms of clarity, is there any update on the migrant status of the Sudanese man, or any update on when people might get that information?
Thank you. I'm aware of speculation in relation to the suspect's immigration status. This morning I've been talking to colleagues from the Home Office, whose role it is to manage the immigration status of individuals. I can confirm my understanding is that the individual was given leave to stay, or remain, in Northern Ireland. But I know that colleagues in the Home Office will be confirming the exact details of the status over the coming days. So you'll hear more from, over the coming hours, you'll hear more from them this afternoon, I hope.
BBC.
It does appear from the video that is circulating that your officers arrived on the scene fairly quickly. What have you been able to establish about the timeline of events? Was this a sudden, random attack, or were there indications that there was any sort of interactions that led up to it, or there was any reports of disturbances before it?
Well, we're at the very early stages of our investigation, so I don't want to speculate, nor do I want other people speculating as to what led up to this horrific incident. But I can confirm that our officers were on the scene quickly after the members of the public intervened to provide first aid and make that arrest. Over the course of the coming hours, as we move through our investigation, we will start to learn more as to what motivated the offence, but at this stage I don't want to give any further information around that.
In terms of the suspect, did he live in the area where the attack took place?
Yes, our understanding is the suspect lived close by to where the incident took place.
RTE.
Do we know if the suspect was known to the victim?
Well, at this stage, again, very early in the investigation, that clearly will be an important line of inquiry for us as we move forward over the next number of hours as we take it through. But at this stage, again, I don't want to speculate. Please let's let the criminal justice process take its course, and when I have information I can verify and I can share with the public, of course I will.
GBNI.
The Secretary of State has said that the police service will give us the answers to these questions. And back to the visa situation, how did he get into Northern Ireland in the first place? Was it illegally or legally, and was it through the Republic of Ireland? And is that why there's a mix-up on his nationality? Is his visa something different from his birthplace?
Well, in terms of the nationality, you'll be aware this morning our belief was that the male was Somalian. That was from the very quick first look at our investigation. We now know him to be, or believe him to be, Sudanese. In terms of the broader question around the immigration status, I don't want to appear that I'm trying to deflect on this. I think it's absolutely right that the Home Office will give you further clarity on it. But again, working with them this morning, my understanding is that the individual came into Northern Ireland from Dublin, moving up, and then was granted leave to remain. But as I say, colleagues from the Home Office will be confirming that in more detail in due course.
Belfast Telegraph.
There's been a lot of information on social media about businesses potentially having to close early in case of potential protests or riots. Is that being advised?
Well, we're aware of a number of social media posts calling for protest activity this evening. I want to stress that I absolutely understand that people will be feeling a range of emotions from fear through to anger and want to have their voice heard. We here in Northern Ireland are very experienced at being able to facilitate protest in a peaceful way and let people have their voice heard. And if there are protests, We very much hope that they will be in that way. And indeed, we would expect and hope that those people who may want to protest will allow people to go about their own lives and be able to go to the shops and do what they want to do, whilst if there are protests there ongoing, that'd be very much our expectation of what we'd like to see. So we're absolutely not advising premises to close. People clearly will make their own mind up. They'll be seeing what's written online, and that might cause them to do their own thing in relation to that. From our perspective, we hope and we absolutely expect we want to see protests that allow people to go about their normal lives.
Cool.
What's your message to people who may wish to use this attack as an opportunity to create violence on the streets? And are you confident you have the special resources to cope with that if that indeed is the case?
I want to draw everyone's attention to the heroic actions of those people who intervened, undoubtedly saving the life of the person who has been injured in this brutal assault. That is the values of this country. That is the incredible community spirit that we value and pride here in Northern Ireland. That is the spirit with which we should all seek to move forward. Of course, I have some concerns around having seen violence in our streets over the past 2 years. I reiterate that people have a right to have their voice heard, and they have a right to do that peacefully. If that's done in a violent way, all that does, and I saw it firsthand last year, damages communities and drags young people into it. So I would plead for calm heads in relation to that. In terms of the support that we have here, please rest assured that in terms of the investigation, we are putting absolutely everything that we need towards that. And right now, our officers across Northern Ireland are patrolling in a reassuring way to reassure our communities. And again this evening, we'll be there in sufficient numbers to be able to do that. We've had offers of support from across the UK in policing and from government to make sure that the PSNI are getting what we need to be able to deal with what is in front of us today.
Reuters.
Can the PSNI confirm that the victim is in a serious condition and not in a critical life-threatening condition? And also, can you talk a little bit about anything that you know about motivation? You know, is the police working with any other organisations or statutory bodies such as Health Trust with regard to this investigation?
Yes, thank you. The investigation is at early stages. As I've said already, we're ruling out a terrorist motivation at this stage. However, our minds remain open to the various possibilities as to what the motivation is behind this. We will, of course, as we move ahead, be working with all of those who might be able to provide us further information and context as why what happened last night. You had asked, I think, as well in terms of, just remind me of the
victim, like he's definitely
Thank
in
you.
a serious condition rather than a critical sort of life-threatening condition, and also if you're working with any other like Health Trust or any other statutory bodies with regard to the investigation, or is it purely a policing operation at the minute?
Thank you. In terms of the victim status, so I'm aware there has been speculation on social media in relation to the status of the victim. I will stress again that the victim is seriously injured and in hospital. Our specialist officers, family liaison officers, are with the family as we speak in relation to that. So please, again, I would ask people not to speculate around the victim's health and status. It's not helpful. I think it has the potential to lead to people feeling even more angry and upset around this incident. And please just wait for updates that we will give you clarity when we have it in terms of the current situation.
Tree Radio.
I know you've touched on this, but for foreign nationals here in Northern Ireland watching the news this afternoon, this evening, what are the police going to be doing, or what would your words to them, if you were speaking to them directly now, to reassure them? You've mentioned this is 2 years we've had this type of violence on our streets. There will be people here this afternoon, this evening, feeling not again, feeling very unsafe.
Well, I want to speak really to all of our communities, because I recognise that everyone who has seen what happened last night will be filled with revulsion, fear, horror and upset. And I know, having spoken to members of minority communities, they absolutely share that horror, that revulsion and that upset. Across our communities, people will feel fear. That's why we will be increasing our visible presence across today and across the days ahead to help to reassure people that we are there to keep them safe. We are actively engaging with community groups across Northern Ireland who we know will be affected by this, to help give them that reassurance message, to listen to them and to respond to that. So my message is, please, if you're feeling concerned or worried, please let us know, contact us, be proactive around that. We're here for you, we're here for all our communities.
And last question, the journal.
Yeah, thank you. Just on the AI poster, you've already touched upon it, but there's a message of premises, shops, businesses to close at 5:30 p.m. Is that something you take seriously, such an threat that's implied in that message?
I want to make a very clear message to say that we absolutely understand that people will want to have their voice heard in relation to the shocking attack of last night, and that can be done in a very peaceful and dignified way, and we here in Policing in Northern Ireland are very used to facilitating and supporting people in doing that. We would appeal for calm to make sure that happens in that way and people can go about their normal business. I do not want to make the shop owners or other businesses feel that they are under threat or that they should be worried, nervous or concerned. Clearly people will make their own judgments around it, and I absolutely understand that, but we are here to facilitate protest in a way that is peaceful. I'll reiterate, nobody in Northern Ireland wants to see a repeat of the disorder that we have seen in recent years. Nobody thinks that that improves the situation or helps to have people's voices heard. It damages communities, damages local businesses, it brings young people into the criminal justice system when they shouldn't be. That's all of our responsibilities to make sure that doesn't happen, and I appeal to everyone with influence to do everything we can to ensure that those protests, if they happen, are peaceful.
Okay, thank you everybody.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.